On April 26, 1986, a catastrophic explosion and fire occurred at the number 4 reactor in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, located in the then Ukrainian SSR and now Ukraine. The explosion and subsequent fires released large amounts of radioactive particles into the atmosphere, which spread across much of Western USSR and Europe. The immediate aftermath of the disaster resulted in the deaths of 2 plant workers and 29 firefighters and plant employees who were hospitalized due to acute radiation sickness. The disaster at Chernobyl is considered the worst nuclear accident in history and one of the largest man-made environmental disasters. The explosion and subsequent fires caused a significant release of radioactive materials, including iodine-131, cesium-137, and strontium-90, which contaminated large areas in Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. The radioactive fallout contaminated not only the immediate surroundings of the power plant, but also distant areas and agricultural products, causing widespread health and environmental problems. The Soviet government initially tried to cover up the extent of the disaster, but within days the magnitude of the disaster became clear, and Soviet authorities began to evacuate people from the nearby city of Pripyat and the surrounding areas. The immediate evacuation area was later expanded to a 30-kilometer exclusion zone, which remains in place to this day. More than 350,000 people were evacuated from the contaminated areas, and many of them suffered serious health problems as a result of their exposure to the radioactive materials. In the aftermath of the disaster, the Soviet government, with assistance from other countries, constructed a concrete sarcophagus to cover the remains of the damaged reactor in an effort to contain the radioactive materials. However, this structure was not designed to be a long-term solution and has since deteriorated, leading to the construction of a new confinement structure that was completed in 2017. The disaster at Chernobyl had far-reaching impacts, not only in terms of the immediate health and environmental effects on the people and regions affected by the radioactive contamination, but also in terms of the global perception of the safety and risks associated with nuclear power. The disaster led to significant changes in the regulation and oversight of nuclear power plants and the use of nuclear energy, and it remains a cautionary example of the potential dangers associated with this form of energy. Despite the efforts to contain the radioactive materials, the long-term effects of the disaster on the environment and human health are still being studied and monitored.